So on the test, numbers 1 through 7 is PEMDAS. And I'm going to record this. You can watch this at home. And it's basic PEMDAS. It's just the same thing. And then numbers 8 through 14 is simplifying. And it's combining like terms, okay? So make sure you know how to do that because you've got to do quite a few of those. Then we've got substituting values in for x, y, and z and simplifying, okay? So that's number 15, just number 15. Substituting values. And simplifying.
Just 15?
That's all I see. That's all I see. Number 16 through 19 is solving equations for a variable. Okay, so you're leaving the variable alone. Your answer is going to be r equals 7 or p equals 8. So solving for a variable. Everybody get that? And now we go into some graphing stuff. 20 through 23, you're going to graph inequalities on a number line. Inequalities on a number line. And you're going to have basic, absolute value, and or. So those are the 4, one of each. Okay, now you're writing equations. You're writing the slope-intercept form of an equation. It's 24 through there's a lot of those. Through 32. 24 through 32, you're writing slope-intercept form. All right, so 24 through 32, you're writing slope-intercept form given different things, like just like in the review packet. Slope and a y-intercept, those are easy. Slope and a point, perpendicular, parallel, all of those, okay? Now we've got numbers 33 to 35. Solve by graphing. 36 to 37. 36 and 37. Solve by elimination. 38 and 39. Solve by substitution. And number 40 is 3 variables. Solve that. And then we go to matrices. So your matrices, you're going to add and subtract. Uh, 41 to 46. Add, subtract matrices. And then you're going to do scalar multiplication on 47 and 48. And that's the ones that have like a 4 outside of a matrix, 2, 1, 0, 4, and you just multiply them all. So 8, 4, 0, 16. That's what that means. And then you're going to do multiplying. Multiplying is to 52, so 49 to 52, multiplying matrices. And then you've got determinants. The last two are determinants. 53 and 54 are determinants.
That's our whole test.
A lot of people ask me about number 46. Number 46 says, find the equation that passes through 2, 3 and is parallel to y equals negative 4. Well, here on the parallel ones, you need to realize that a parallel line at y equals negative 4 goes like this. So if it's parallel to that, it has to be parallel, and it goes through point 2, 3. So if you look at 2, 3, it's right here. Well, it has to be a parallel line that goes through 2, 3, which is that line right there. Well, that line there is going to be y equals 3. That's why the answer is y equals 3. If it's parallel to an x equals number, then it would have been x equals 2. But since the y of that point is 3, it's y equals 3. Whenever they want an equation, I've told you before, make your little box of m equals, b equals, and y equals. Once you have m and b, you can write your equation. So if it's parallel to this equation, it means it has the same slope. So the slope of that equation is 3/4. So we know our slope, 3/4. Now we have to find our y-intercept. We actually don't use this equation anymore. We just get the slope off of him. So now we have y equals 3/4 x plus b. And now we got to use this point. So we're going to put in 5 equals 3/4 times 1 plus b. 5 equals 3/4 plus b. 5 minus 3/4 equals b. And here you have a common denominator issue. So 5 is 24 minus 3/4 equals b. When you find a common denominator, you get 17/4 equals b. So my b is 17/4. Am I ready to write my equation?
Is it okay if I had 4 and 1?
So now you have y equals 3/4 x plus 17/4, and that's your answer. So when you see a minus sign between two parentheses, that minus sign belongs to all of these guys here. So before you start anything, you're going to rewrite the first guy, and then you're going to change all the signs of the second guy. Okay? And now you look at things. I always go from the highest exponent down. So we've got the fourth and the fourth. 7 minus 6 is m to the fourth. They're gone. Then I have no thirds, right? And then I have second. 3m squared plus 6m squared is 9m squared. And then the plain m's, negative m minus 2m is negative 3m. And that is your answer. First, I want to apologize because this problem snuck into the packet and I didn't realize it.
Is that one I asked you about?
Yeah, it's an infinitely many. But first thing you're going to do is ref to this. So everybody do ref. And you'll notice it has all zeros at the bottom, I believe. Everybody do that. If it is a solution, it's going to look like this. 1, 0, 0, and any number. 0, 1, 0, and any number. And 0, 0, 1, and any number. That means that this is x, y, and z.
So like
Okay.
if there's another.
So if it looks any other way, than these two things, with all zeros, let's say it has like a 0.2 here, and a 0.5 here, and a 1, 0, 0, and a number. If it looks any other way, it's no solution, okay? Any other way other than these two. You're first going to look at these equations and see what is the easiest way to eliminate something. And I think the easiest letter to eliminate is X. Very good. Because it won't take too much trouble. When you look at the Y's, you're going to have to multiply two things by something. You can do Y and you can do Z. It's just going to be more complicated and more chance for error. So if I want to eliminate the X here, I multiply this first guy by -2. And I have negative 4x plus 10y minus 6z equals 42. And 4x minus 4y plus 2z equals -10. When I add them together, I get my first equation. X's bite the dust, and I get 6y minus 4z equals 32. Everybody see that? Now I've got to use the second 2, and I want to eliminate the same variable. You guys forget that sometimes, but you have to eliminate the x. I'm going to change the sign of everything in that first equation. So I'm going to get negative 4x, positive 4y, minus 2z equals 10, and 4x minus 2y minus 4z equals -4. And when I add those together, the x's bite the dust, and I get 2y minus 6z equals 6. Now I've got these two, and the easiest way is to eliminate the y by multiplying this guy by a -3. So I have 6y minus 4z equals 32, and -6y plus 18z equals -18. The y's bite the dust, and I have 14z equals 14. So z equals 1, which is correct. Got the first guy. Now we plug in that z into either any of these that have just two variables. We have 6y minus 4 times 1 equals 32. 6y minus 4 equals 32. 6y equals 36. Y equals 6. So he's right. And now we plug in the y and the z into the original up here. Let's pick this guy here. And we have 2x minus 5 times 6 plus 3 times 1 equals -21. So 2x minus 30 plus 3 equals -21. So 2x minus 27 equals -21. When I add 27, I get 2x equals 6 and x equals 3. So we got it. And 30. What happened? All right, I'm going to do this two ways. The first way is foiling, and the second way will be the box method. You do whatever way you like to do. So if we foil, we do this times this, which is 5r cubed, plus this times this, which is -4r squared. And then we have 8r times 5r, which is plus 40r squared. And then 8r times -4, which is -32r. And then 5 times 5r is plus 25r. And 5 times -4 is minus 20. And then you combine like terms. So it's 5r cubed. And then 40 minus 4 is plus 36r squared. What happened?
You done messed up, man.
Okay, so then we have -32 plus 25 is -7r. And then minus 20. That should be the answer. The other method is the box method. So you make a 3 by 2 box because you got 3 guys in this guy and 2 guys over here. And you put the 3 guys up here, so you have r squared, 8r, and 5, and then you have 5r and -4. So r squared times 5r goes in this box here, the first box is 5r cubed. 5r times 8r is 40r squared. 5 times 5r is 25r, minus 4r squared, minus 32r, and minus 20. And then you add like terms again. So it's 5r cubed. He's gone. These two can be added, and that's plus 36r squared. These two can be added, minus 7r and minus 20. Same thing.
Yep.
All right. This middle part here, this matrix here, we add those two together first. So we're subtracting those matrices. So I'm going to do 3, -1, 3, -2, minus the result of this mess. So 0 minus -1 is 1. 4 minus -2 is 6. 1 minus 3 is -2. And 5 minus -4 should be 9. And now I do these two together. So it's going to be 3 minus 1, which is a 2. -1 minus 6 is a minus 7. 3 minus -2 is a 5. And -2 minus 9 is a -11. That should be your final answer. So here, you've got to get rid of the -5 first. So you're going to divide both sides by -5. When you divide by a negative number, the sign changes. So it's a 1. Now you set up your two equations. A over 8 is greater than or equal to 1. A over 8 is less than or equal to -1. And here you multiply by 8. So A is greater than or equal to 8. And A is less than or equal to -8. So when we do the crosses here, it's going to be this guy here. So it's going to be -2 times -4 times -2. That's what it says here.
Oh, that's what I did.
All right, and then it's going to be plus, and this one, 5 times -4 times 1, and plus -2 times 2 times -3, and now minus this one, minus 1 times -4 times -2, minus -3 times -4 times -2, and minus -2 times 2 times 5. So that's 8 times -2 is -16, minus 20 plus 12, and that's a 8 minus 8, and that's a 12, -24 plus 24, and that's a -4, -20, so plus 20. So those two bite the dust, negative and a plus, and then you've got -24 here, and the 24, so it's at a 12. Need to solve by elimination. So we can get rid of the x's or the y's, but the y's are a little bit easier because they're smaller numbers and they won't make it get too crazy. So we're going to multiply this by -2, and we'll have -2x plus 2y equals -20. Sorry, positive.
Wait,
Nope, -2.
is substitution.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Sorry. So 58 is substitution, so we don't do that. We look for a naked variable, which is this y right here, and we say y equals -8x plus 17. Put it in parentheses, and now we write that other equation, -2x plus 2. Oh, there's a y. We're going to replace that with -8x plus 17 equals -20. So we have -2x minus 16x plus 34 equals -20, and that's -18x equals -54, so x equals 3. And then we plug that 3 into either one of the original equations, so 8 times 3 plus y equals 17. 24 plus y equals 17. Y equals 17 minus 24. So that's, I think, negative 7. Y equals negative 7. Okay, the first thing I do on these is put the dimensions down. So this is a 2 by 3, and this is a 3 by 2. And I circle these two, and I set up that my answer is going to be a 2 by 2, because those two are the same, so your answer is the two that got left out in the cold. It helps me know what size the answer is so I don't get confused. And now I'm going to do this. This is going to be this row with this column is the first number, okay? That's going to be this number. So it's going to be 6 times negative 2 plus negative 4 times 1 plus 0 times 0. And that's going to be negative 12 minus 4, so it's negative 16. Okay? Now to find the second number, we're going to do this same row with the second column. That will give me this number. So we have 6 times negative 4 plus negative 4 times negative 5 plus 0 times 1. Well, that bites the dust, and that's a 20 and a negative 24. So it should be negative 4. Am I right so far? Now we're on the second row and the first column. So that's going to be 3 times negative 2 plus 2 times 1 plus 4 times 0. That bites the dust, and that's a 2 and a negative 6. So it's a negative 4 again. And then we're going to do the last row and the last column, and that's going to be 3 times negative 4 plus 2 times negative 5 plus 4 times 1. And that's going to be negative 12 minus 10 plus 4. Negative 22 plus 4 is negative 18. So your slope is 5/3. So you need your slope, your y-intercept, and your equation, okay? Your slope is 5/3. You don't need him anymore. So we have y equals 5/3 x plus b. And that's where this point comes in. That's your x and your y. So you plug it in. 3 equals 5/3 times 3 plus b. So 3 equals 5 plus b. Subtract 5. b equals negative 2. So we got our b. And now we just write our equation. 5/3 x minus 2. That should be the answer.